So the question is, all of these tariffs, will they make the stock market collapse? Is it that powerful? That is the ultimate question.
Recession fears are also back in the headlines.
Maybe we will hit a recession. Maybe the stock market will fall even more,
Gold has been hitting record high.
which is good for gold also. Good for gold.
I'm sorry, I need to stop you there. All I'm hearing is gold is gonna.
Well,
Are we in for more turbulence?
of course. Easy.
Welcome to the The Expert podcast, where we will be breaking down the biggest financial trends shaping the markets. I'm Janu, and we're joined with our two analysts, June and Asado. There's a lot happening right now: trade tensions, recession fears, a surging gold market, and major shifts in global power. So, we're going to tackle how all this is affecting investors and where things might be headed next. So, let's dive in. Let's start with trade. The US is raising tariffs on countries like Venezuela and Europe, aiming to protect its own industries. But could this backfire by sparking more trade conflicts? Are these tariffs helping the US economy, or are they creating more risks for markets?
Most countries are retaliating, but not all countries are retaliating actually. Like for instance, Australia, they're actually not retaliating to US tariff. But the countries they are actually retaliating are because they can sustain the tariff, and they can source new resources from other countries. So for instance, China, so in the first Trump presidential, during that time, of course, agricultural took a hit because China is one of the biggest soybean importer of the US. But right now, they are trying to get soybean instead from Brazil.
Mm.
You mean the US?
Changing course.
Yeah, changing course is almost the same part. Like one is North America, another one is Latin America, and yeah, same thing but different source. So in other words, you kind of avoid that tariff again.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So, I mean, they can avoid that tariff. So that's a possibility, and we can see that they are actually negotiating, trying to reduce that tariff. At least not now. Maybe after 2nd April, then we will see a shift in this tone where Trump starts implementing it first and then negotiate. Yeah.
I didn't know that the US put tariffs on Australia. It's the first time I hear it. Why? Maybe it's not in the media that much.
Yeah, it's not
The
in
media
the
is focused on Mexico, Canada,
China.
Europe, and
yeah,
China,
because
obviously.
those are the biggest trade partners.
Okay,
so the
so-
focus in the bigger
So they're not
one.
the only ones who
Yes.
are
Do
getting
you know-
slapped by tariffs.
Yes, do you know Malaysia has tariff as well?
Really?
Malaysia
really?
has tariff, yeah, but a very small amount is about 3%.
So that's why maybe no one mentions it. You need to
Exactly.
dig deep. Yeah,
yes,
okay.
Yes. And the world, okay, these are the biggest market in the world. Everyone has their focus on this.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, instead of the tiny little ones.
Yeah.
So unless you are in that country, then you will feel that tariff. But even then, it's still very small
Okay.
amount. Yeah.
So, would you say that these things would affect the US economy? Because it looks like all the big ones, the big exporters, are being shifted aside, and they're going for like their second choices in a way, like the whole China Brazil thing. Would you say that this would affect the US economy?
Yeah, definitely. It depends on the sectors that you are talking about. Yeah, because some of the sectors, you can shift your source, but some of it is only available in the US or in certain more advanced countries. So for instance, your semiconductor, you can't find that in Brazil, right?
Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
of course.
Yeah, you can only find
course.
it in the very advanced countries. I think you know which countries I'm mentioning.
Yep.
So this
Yeah.
is where the negotiating part would come in.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So you can see even the targeted sectors are your automotive, semiconductors, pharmaceuticals. Even by just mentioning these sectors, right, you know actually who Trump is trying to target. India, exports the most pharmaceutical products to the US. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so which is why India is also targeted, and
Mm.
their tariff over there is actually insanely high.
Really?
So the
It,
question is, all of these tariffs, will they make the stock market collapse? That's the or the economy.
Yeah. Is it?
yeah.
Is it?
Is it that powerful? That is the ultimate question.
I think on certain sectors, certain segments. So for instance, okay, yesterday when we are recording this,
Yeah.
so Trump announced 25% tariff on the auto sector.
Auto sector. Okay.
Yeah, so and immediately we can see that GM and Ford went down immediately. And actually the entire stock market went down because like last week he said that, oh, there will be a more targeted version of that tariff, of the reciprocal tariff, but right now suddenly out of nowhere he implemented a 25% tariff on auto. Yeah, so the market of course take a hit. And then actually you can see that not all of uh, the automobile manufacturing companies will get hit. Like for instance, Tesla, they actually manufacture most of their parts already in the US, so they have a hit, but then not that severe as Ford and GM. Yeah, and actually,
Okay.
just for your info, if you doesn't know, GM is actually, for every EV that they are selling, they are actually losing 43,000
43,000.
per car.
Oh.
And if these tariffs went in, their cost is gonna go up by about 10,000. So their loss is even more.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, recession fears are also back in the headlines. At the same time, we're also seeing like a lot of pullback from the markets. Some say that it's short term, while others believe that it is a really big warning sign.
Yeah.
Do you guys think that these concerns are justified, or is there something else driving the market movements right now?
It's mostly fear. The market is falling because of the fear of tariffs and what's going to happen, the uncertainty. This is the main narrative right now. The question is, will this lead to a recession or not? I think there's a big difference between recession and bear market. We saw a bear market in 2022. It was like 1 year and more than 1 year. The stocks were in a bear market. It was long. Recessions can happen very quickly, and we can get out very quickly because the Fed has a lot of tools. It has they can cut rates. They have a lot of margin cutting rates, so that will help boost the stocks, and also the QT, stopping QT and starting QE again. Like, they have a lot of tools. That's why maybe we will hit a recession. Maybe the stock market will fall even more. Maybe we can see 30-40% drop, but it will be very quick, I presume.
Okay, and what are your views?
What I'm looking at, FOMC, they just had their meeting. So from the minutes, we can see that, okay, they are trying to slow down their QT. But if we look more in depth, right, this slowing down in QT is actually, there's two parts to this. There's one, treasury bonds, and the other one is MBS. They are actually just slowing down treasury bonds and not MBS. So in other words, right, what I'm looking at is, okay, because MBS is actually more risky than treasury bonds, obviously. So by them not actually slowing down MBS is, for me, it's quite a positive view that they are not looking at a recession yet, but just a slowing down, because their projection for GDP is actually 2.1 to 1.7 or 1.8, right? Somewhere there. Yeah, so it's actually just a slowing down. What I'm looking at is, as Ado mentioned, right? They are trying, as in the government right now, Trump and administration is trying to induce a so-called slowdown.
Okay.
Again, the same thing, because they have that leeway to reduce interest rate and to slow down QT or even go into QE.
Yeah.
If there's a need.
If it's needed,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah,
So there's
yeah.
a lot of tools.
Yeah, so both of the tools that the Federal Reserve has is now available.
Yep.
they can actually use it to support the economy if there's a recession or if there's a slowdown. Yeah, which they can use anytime.
So you did mention that the Fed is slowing down QT. So do we need to be concerned about this, or is it just a move from them to to plan out their strategy?
I think this slowing down in QT is actually just to support the government because, okay, a bit politics here. I feel like
Go for
okay,
it.
there's
bro.
a bit of politics here.
Yeah, go for
okay, so actually we know that a lot of the countries they are, because the US is having this trade war with everybody, and most of their trade partners are actually the biggest buyer of US bonds.
Okay.
Yeah. So right now, if you are having war with me, do I want to buy your bond?
Of course not.
No,
Yeah. So who else is gonna buy this?
the government, the Fed,
Yeah.
the Fed,
Yeah.
because
Which
the
is
Fed
why
is not government. So.
exactly the government can't buy their own bond, right? Because they
Yeah,
are
yeah.
the one issuing that
Yeah,
bond.
yeah.
So it's only the Federal Reserve that can buy this, which is why the out of nowhere you have suddenly this slowing down of QT
Yeah.
just to buy treasury bonds.
Okay, it makes sense. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that brings me to my next question.
Okay.
The Fed is supposed to function independently
Yeah.
without the government's influence or anything, but it seems like right now there is an increasing political pressure to lower interest rates and just to to sway the Fed's movements a little. So do you guys think that this pressure could actually affect the Fed's decision making?
The Fed is gonna cut rates eventually, whether Trump is saying it out loud or not.
Okay.
Eventually, the time will come and they will gonna cut rates. They can't keep this. It's not
Yeah.
sustainable. So maybe the pressure from Trump or the Trump administration will make it maybe faster.
That's the
Maybe.
only thing. that
Yeah.
would
And it
influence.
depends. If the market crashes even more,
Yeah.
the Fed will intervene and start to raise or just say, and we're gonna cut rates the next time we're gonna meet or whatever.
To get a reaction.
Something, positive for the market to, okay, we can breathe. Yeah.
Okay. Well, for the viewers, this question. Gold has been hitting record highs
Oh yeah.
recently.
I wonder why.
Yeah. So what is driving this
Because
surge?
you said it's gonna go to
Yeah,
2000.
because
That's
I
why
said it.
went-
So that's why everyone went there and bought gold.
Yeah.
Pump.
Pump it.
I pumped it.
Yeah,
No,
you
no.
did. Asado pumped up gold.
it's like it's impossible to pump gold. So yeah. But yeah.
Yeah, so what's driving this surge? Like, is it a sign that investors are actually seeking safety amid this whole recession fear? Or are there other factors that are pushing gold higher?
Everything, I think, everything is a factor of gold going up because it's a perfect environment for gold going up. The Fed is gonna cut rates sooner or later.
Yeah.
So there's always this forward guidance, or look, like the market always looks in the future, what's gonna happen in the future, not right now. So there's this hope. There's the hope of QE again, because if they start QE, printing money and everything, which will lead eventually inflation, which is good for gold also. The tariffs, the uncertainty of tariffs, good for gold.
I'm sorry, I need to stop you there. All I'm hearing is gold is gonna get higher.
So what's your new target?
Even technically,
10,000.
even technically, no man, 4 times. No, I can see 3,500 easily. I don't know
okay.
why not. If everything,
3,500.
maybe we might get like pullbacks.
Okay.
Maybe I don't
Yeah.
know.
Okay, what
It's
about
natural,
you?
but
Because we need
Still-
to confirm this before we buy.
there's no
Pump it.
confirmation.
Pump it.
Yeah, pump it.
So
But no, if
you-
you just like think about logic, do you think is there anything negative that can bring down gold or keep it where it is, not necessarily bring it down?
Okay. There's two functions of gold.
Okay.
One is hedge against inflation. The other one is like a safe haven.
Okay.
Okay. There's another one is a competition between fixed income.
Yes.
So, yeah, because fixed income is also okay. Not all fixed income are safe haven, but some fixed income are safe haven. Okay, you know which one is it? I think you know. Yeah.
You think? Okay.
Okay, so there's these three factors, right? So if uh, interest rate were to stay high, gold is gonna get pressured, and vice versa.
Of course.
Then also if QE starts, or if there's even a slowdown in QT, gold is gonna go up because inflation is gonna come. So that's where the hedge of inflation gonna comes in for gold. Then you have the geopolitical issue. So right now we can see that Trump is actually, he's like a friend of Putin.
Friend of
A
Putin.
friend of Putin.
Yeah, it's like
Allegedly.
yeah. Okay, he's very close with him.
I don't see it like okay. Yeah,
whether he's
continue.
a friend or not, I don't know.
They
Yeah,
have
yeah, yeah.
good political
Yeah,
relations.
Yeah.
That's the right word.
It is a smart. It's smart move to be allies with Russia. Not necessarily only Putin. With Russia as a superpower.
Especially when you're making enemies with China in a way, like both are really strong parties, and he's kind of. I think he's very smart in I know I said that he was a businessman and all, but I think politician wise, like.
There's one thing that I think Trump wants to achieve by going very close with Russia is because of energy.
Of course, it's one of the reasons. Of course.
Yeah, because Russia is one of the largest exporter, and then Trump said this before that he wants the US to be like the tech leader of the world. Besides Bitcoin or crypto. But in order to do that, right, you need a lot of energy because your AI, your servers, your data centers, all this drains energy. So he needs to get that oil price down.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So even if there's a tariff on Venezuela, then you need a different source. Yeah. If you don't
Makes
have
sense.
Venezuela, oil is everywhere. You can just import from another country. Yeah, which is what the tariff for other sectors have. Like the countries, they are finding other partners. So this one, if I stop it here, I need to have another source. Yeah.
And if the war ends with Ukraine,
if
Russia,
the
Ukraine,
war ends with Ukraine, then you have
lower
you don't really lower oil price. Then also for gold, the risk for all these agricultural exports, your inflation on your food, because Ukraine is one of the largest exporter of agricultural products. So your food inflation is going to go down, everything is going to go down. So that's where and your risk is going to go down as well. So that's another pressure for gold. So you have the upside, you have the downside as well.
But the upside is much more.
Yeah, for now the upside is
looking
is
bullish.
higher.
The chart is looking bullish, strong.
Yeah.
So you've heard the guys.
Don't know why you want to short it,
Gold is looking good, but you've also heard the risk. Do what you
Disclaimer.
will, but so far,
If it happens, then you know what to do.
And then read the disclaimer also down below.
Do not take this as
Thank you very
financial
much.
advice, but they are, as analysts, they are seeing a 3.5, 3,000.
Yeah. It's easy.
It's easy apparently. So
No, it's possible. It's possible.
it's possible.
3,500 on gold is possible.
All right. Okay, let me widen that up a little. Gold this year, 2025. Is it a good year for gold?
Of course.
Yeah, we can see.
Okay, cool. All right. Okay, next question. Trump's comeback this year has already shaken a lot of things up. Okay, it's been 2 months, about 3 months, things have been everywhere. Markets are reacting, trade tensions are rising, but opinions are also very divided right now. With such a chaotic start, how do you guys feel about the rest of this year with Trump's administration? Because we've seen him in office a few years ago.
Yeah.
And now he's having a very different, almost very fast approach on things. So how do you guys see it going for the rest of this year? Are we in for more turbulence?
Of course. Easy.
It's hard.
Volatile.
Yeah.
It's if I'm gonna just say one word for this year, it's volatility. We're gonna see a lot
That's
of
not
volatility.
reassuring, man, but
Yeah,
okay.
volatility can be good.
Yeah, true.
It creates trading opportunities.
True.
Yeah, but if you're a long-term based
Investor,
trader, a bit
yeah.
investor, yeah, you're gonna see your stocks, let's say, fluctuate a lot.
Mm-hmm.
It's not gonna be one way up.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, overall, I think it's more or less bullish.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're seeing the pullback, of course, but I think it's temporary.
Okay.
The market will always find a way to move on from this, let's say, wall of worry. There's a wall of worry right now. They will overcome it eventually. Yeah.
I do want to say, Asado, you
Mm.
are a very optimistic trader, or does this apply for all traders? Everything is opportunities.
No, he shot the market.
Yeah.
Smart. That's why it doesn't matter if it
It's
goes
not-
down. I'm going
yeah,
to
it's
earn
not about
anyways.
optimism.
Yeah.
It's about being as much as you can.
All he wants is a
objective.
trend, so he can make.
Yeah,
money
exactly.
from it.
Trend up or
Yeah,
down. That's
Yeah,
the
because
idea.
it's the easiest to make a trend from trade.
True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not good in a range bound trading.
Yeah.
I'm not good at
Usually
it.
range
I need
bound
trend.
is the
Trend makes it easy for me at least.
Yeah, exactly.
Anything can be
So-
the opportunity.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So being
You're right.
objective is the best thing. Is the best
You know,
way
we
forward.
we have
Yeah.
CFD right now, right? You know.
What? I didn't hear.
CFD.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you
yes,
can
of course.
You can buy and short. You can
Sure.
long and short. You know.
But yeah, Jun, so what about you? How do you feel about the rest of this year with Trump's leadership?
um, okay, what I'm looking at is for the start, there will be a lot of uncertainty because there's a lot of negotiation going on, and all these are just based on Trump's whatever Trump is thinking, he will implement it, and then negotiate later. So, yeah, so when Trump he was telling Canada that he will implement the tariff and then we negotiate. Yeah. So for the start, there will be a turbulence during the negotiation stage. Maybe a bit less volatility as right now, and then all the way until the end of the year, maybe more stable. Yeah, and we can also see that the Fed is actually gonna cut rates this year, and if you look at the dot plot, they're gonna cut it twice again next year, which is very clear this time. So whenever the Fed cuts rate, the market doesn't go down usually.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It boosts it up. Yeah.
yeah. So like you have Trump that is making, even if the tariff were to make inflation very high, go up, probably it's not gonna last for too long. Yeah, if there's a slowdown in the markets, because a slowdown in the market will actually bring down your inflation as well, because people are spending less. Yeah, so there's that balance there. So if the market is balanced and then the Fed started to cut rates, which we know they will, then there will be a support for the market again. Yeah.
And maybe this whole pullback in the market is good
Yeah.
for Trump. Maybe he wants this to force the Fed
Yeah.
to cut rates faster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
It
know?
very much looks like Trump is inducing this slowdown. He wants
Yeah.
it.
That's all for today's episode. Big thanks to Asado and June
Thank you.
for the insights. And as always, thank you to our listeners for tuning in. So if you enjoyed today's discussion, please subscribe and follow to our podcast. And remember, stay informed, stay ahead, and we will catch you next time.